Good morning, folks. Wanted to go over a couple things this morning. First, Graphite, and second, through Graphite, cover my changes for introducing a more comprehensive architecture into the Join a Group feature. So, huge quick overview on Graphite. Graphite encourages you to think of PRs and sets of work as a stack of PRs. So one on top of the other, just like a stack of plates. Each one depending on the one previous to break up larger chunks of work. The work stream I had created was pretty large. I think it was some 100 files or so. Not necessarily that I touched all of these files. There's 69 of course, 69 files. So I went through and basically made sure that I wanted all these changes in place and yada, 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 yada. So this is what it would look like to review this without a stack of PRs. So it's just an enormous set of changes, and as the reviewer, you have to conceptually understand how all of these fit together, if at all. If as a developer, I've been responsible and only changed things that were part of my feature, which is, sometimes we are guilty of not doing that. Now, I'm in the Graphite UI, but you can also review these PRs in GitHub, just like normal. So here's one piece of that larger work where you only have to look through and see two files. What's the other file? I deleted some stuff. And so you can say, okay, well, this is just a markdown file. I could read through it and try and understand it. Sign off on it. Looks good. Review and approve. Now, you can also review that here. Collapse the description. I love this rabbit thing. This is pretty cool. And I think it actually had some good feedback for me. But you can read through here, and then at the very bottom you can approve. There's also tons of great shortcuts in this reviewer. Even if you don't use stacks, the Graphite review experience to me is superior. And so yeah, so there's that. And then once I review, well, real quick, let's talk about reviewing stacks. The most negative thing I've found is that if you set up work for future work, it's sometimes not clear that a piece of functionality is introduced later, for example. So let's see. Let me collapse this. So that I don't think that's super relevant for my change. Just something to call out. So you can quickly run through, and this is just a fixing types PR. So this shouldn't be very strenuous to review, but you can imagine in a larger PR, you have to look through and say, okay, well, are there any breaking changes introduced here? Like what's actually going on? And since this is a stack, I could just reserve a single PR for fixing types, which eases the strain on the reviewer, and that's kind of the point. So let's see. Is there anything else useful to cover about Graphite? There's a wonderful CLI tool. It basically is just syntactic sugar on top of Git. There's a good README. In fact, Git help. Yeah, GT demo. I think GT demo is it. Creating a pull request, time to completion, creating a stack of pull requests. Let's see, where was it? There was something. GT guide workflow. And this will basically create, show you a little command line tutorial for stepping through all of how to do everything in Graphite. So let's say you have some changes here at my ADR level. So normally in GitHub, if I was using GitHub or if I was using plain Git, I would have to introduce changes to this lower PR in the stack, or I think of it as upstream, and then I would have to rebase those changes into all of these following branches. And I guess there's ways of doing that now that aren't like too complex, but this tool just does it for me, so I don't have to worry about it. So let's say that someone comes in here and says, I don't like that you mentioned, this is a demo comment, I don't like that you mentioned Nashville here. Okay, and please remove. Okay, and then, so let's imagine that's actually useful feedback. And so we can come in to the ADR 002. I can hop into that file in Nashville, and I can change this to undisclosed location. And then I'm on the top stack in my thing. So notice, like, that's not, oops, git branch. This isn't super useful to see how these all relate. I happen to know that these ML1022s all relate to each other. But, let's see now. Git log short. GTLS. Still getting used to the commands a little bit. So I can see that these are a stack of PRs with a branch of main. And I'm at the top of the stack. That change was introduced down here for the ADR for architectural plans. So if this works, it works sometimes, it doesn't work other times. But there's a cool command called git absorb that tries to commit your changes back to the branch where you introduce the most likely thing that you will be changing with that. And it's pretty cool. So let's see if we can use it right. So first, git status is going to show that we modified. All we did was change that to an undisclosed location. And we can GT add that. GT add, we'll add everything. Let's see. Okay, and then we can GT absorb. There we go, no changes to absorb. So I'm doing that wrong. Let me pause real quick. I'm gonna figure out how to do that. So, unfortunately, the GT absorb did not work. But I did show here, let's see. I used checkout to check out the branch where the change was originally introduced manually. And then I typed GTM as a shorthand for Graphite modify, which is going to modify the currently checked out PR from the stack. And then it asked me if I wanted to submit, and so I submitted those changes back up to remote, and so here we are submitted, and we can go back here. I looked, I can't find any changes here or any reasons why GT absorb didn't work. It worked for me a little bit. Let's see, this should be so the port request is updated while you're viewing it. See the latest version. This file was deleted. No, it wasn't. Demo comment. I don't like that you mentioned Nashville here. Please remove. So there's the code that was originally commented on, which is nice to see here. Not sure exactly why this didn't kind of go back to here, but we can see that we've got that changed from an undisclosed location. So that was a little bit of a silly demo, and of course my git absorb or gt absorb did not work. But yeah, so there is Graphite in a nutshell. I think I'm going to do a separate review for the state machine and tests. And I'm going to do that in my IDE. That'll be a little bit better here. So yeah, we're going to review the machine and the machine tests in there. Yeah, I'll see you there.